We're excited to have partnered with the B News, an online news platform covering Arizona, Nevada, New Mexico, and California. Our new program, The Business Buzz, gives you an inside look into the lives of local entrepreneurs, business owners, and those inspiring their communities. The trials, the tribulations, the successes, and the challenges. Welcome to The Business Buzz, now streaming on Dynamic Living Radio.
All right, rock and roll ready.
Rock and roll.
Here we go. Business Buzz, episode 2.
Episode 2.
Yep. So we're on Dynamic Living Radio, 16 different streaming platforms, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, TuneIn, Live 365. There's a whole bunch of different ones. And so this episode is about Mudshark Brewery. And I'm with Scott Stocking, the owner of Mudshark Brewery and Public House. And we're going to just kind of chit-chat of some questions of what got you into this huge operation.
Huge.
They're right now canning. You can probably hear it in the background. Mistress in a Barrel, which is a barrel-aged porter.
Imperial Stout.
So it's very dark.
Dark and delicious. Lots of chocolate.
It looks good. Smells good. Cool labels. They're
Very
doing
cool.
labeling as well. So I guess we'll start from the very, very beginning.
Very beginning. Pizza and beer.
Scott was born. No, yes, pizza and beer. So that's how you kind of got started. And so the first question is where the concept came from, restaurant and brewery, because you originally started with pizza.
Originally started with pizza.
And then one day you're like, I think I'm going to do beer.
Well, people either drink beer with their pizza or Pepsi with their...
Must be a Pepsi deal somewhere behind the
There's
scenes.
a Pepsi deal. No, Pepsi treats me well.
Yeah. And so you decided, okay, well, I can either provide beer from brands that I know, or I can make a brand that I want to taste the way that I want it to taste.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So started messing around a little bit with the craft beer back in the early 90s.
That was when craft beer was pretty new in
Pretty
general.
new.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sierra Nevada Pale Ale was a good one back then. That was kind of the main go-to. Widmer Hefeweizen was another one, and that was probably the two main ones that I drank.
Mm-hmm.
Widmer Hef and Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
And at that point, you were already here in Havasu.
I was up in Needles. Started there in 1984.
Mm-hmm.
That was my first go at a pizza shop, and then moved operations into Havasu in '93 with a Little Shark that was on Mesquite there. And then the brewery got underway in about '96. We started working on that project, and there's some background music.
That's good. So when you started the brewing, you started in the Little Shark, and you had just a small tank, or
No, we started the brewing in a bathtub.
Oh wow!
Yeah, little home brews.
Yep.
First one was King Kong Stout,
Oh cool.
and that one came out pretty good. And we did another one. It was a pale ale that was horrible, and then we went from there into a lot bigger scale,
Yeah.
and learned a lot from. 1998 was the opening. September '98 we opened, and here we are now with a canning operation and more beer.
Yeah. How long did it take to build the new Public House Brewery? location?
From design out about 2 years to get it done.
Yeah, great spot too. Like it's in an industrial area on Aviation Drive, and when you first pull in, you know it's a brewery, but you don't know it's a restaurant until you get closer and closer to the lake views, and then you can see the patio and you can see the sign, and that's where all of the food part happens.
That's for the food, and that's where we still have pizza. So we got to have pizza and beer.
Yeah. Yep. When you get ingredients for beer, because I know that sometimes you take the spent grains and you donate them to local farms.
Yeah, the spent grain right now currently goes to Andrew Oxley. As I think when we started giving him the spent grain, he had 11 cows, and I just heard recently that they're up to 300 cows now.
Whoa!
Out in Yucca.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah,
They go through some grain.
They've really been adding to their
Yeah.
portfolio of cows.
Yeah. Well, that's a really cool process that I don't think that I would have ever known that there was any value to spent grain. I would think that they've lived their life and they've been used and they're discarded, but it's cool to see that they go back into potentially stuff that we're eating here.
And we're actually working a little bit behind the scene right now and taking some of that spent grain and making dog biscuits out of it.
Oh, cool.
Because we're a very dog-friendly facility. We love dogs, animals of all kinds, of course, but dogs and dog biscuits out of spent grain. We're going to be launching that off here in probably the next month.
That's cool. Perfect timing.
And we're going to bake them off in the brick oven.
Mm-hmm. Brick oven baked biscuits.
Yep, we'll do that before
cool.
The oven usually sits at around, when we turn it off at night, it cools down to about 350 degrees.
Oh, wow.
And on our pizza temperature is 777 degrees.
Yeah, lucky sevens.
Lucky sevens.
Yeah. Yeah, very dog friendly. I've seen that on the patio, dogs with water bowls sitting out there with their pet owners and enjoying the views.
Yes.
Very cool. And I see there's a little bit of swag, I feel like, for dogs. Is it just the water bowls?
We do different things from time to time.
Yeah.
We do custom-made dog leashes, collars.
I was going to say collars and tags maybe would be pretty cool.
So, yeah.
Now, when you're brewing beer in a city that's pretty small, there's other breweries. What do you think one of the factors that plays into your competitive edge? Everybody has their own kind of identifier of what makes them special. So, like, where do you see Mudshark in its special point of competitive edge with other breweries that are of similar size?
Well, we like to make an array of beers, from a super light lager to compete with the macro brands, all the way to a deep dark stout to go up against the Guinness lovers. So we go from light to dark and everything in between.
Yeah.
Every brewery has their own niche. Our niche is Full Moon, because that's kind of the beer that I enjoyed since 1998.
And that's the orange, citrus, coriander, pretty high alcohol content. It doesn't taste it though. It's like 8.5.
8.5, yep.
Yeah, so it's stronger than you would think, but it's smooth. It's very smooth.
When we started brewing that beer, it was 4.5%.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, through the years, it's 8.5% now.
Yeah. Okay. So that's where Moonlight was probably born from. You needed to bring it back down a notch. And
yeah, Moonlight is actually a lot closer to the original recipe.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, and that's one thing I must say is that when I first started, working with you and learning more about Mudshark, it was amazing to see how many different types of beer there were. I had never thought that a brewery, that wasn't this national large brewery, would have so many different varieties, from blueberries, vanillas, and caramels and chocolates, and just some of the. You had a strawberry one at one point, a strawberry cream shake one. I mean, just some really cool. S'mores is a new one that you're venturing into, the marshmallow. I was really excited about seeing a pumpkin beer, because I'm from New England and pumpkin beers was something I went to school drinking in the fall. Fall, that always just reminds me of the fall semester, when you're starting your new college year. And so that was something that I haven't been able to find a really good one down here until you have your Peaceful Pumpkin. And I was like, finally I have something that I can default back to for fall.
Peaceful Pumpkin's been really successful for us. It's not too heavy, not too light. It's like right there in the middle.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's perfect. Now food is a big part of a tap room that has a restaurant attached. Gives people a reason to kind of stick around a little bit longer, bring family, maybe even having one other beer because they're having food with it. So what are some of the exciting menu items that you've created over the years, and where do you draw your inspiration? Do you travel, you try something somewhere and you're like, this is great, I want to bring it back to my restaurant, and then you start trying?
No, I do it the old-fashioned way.
Just throw it in, see if it works?
Let's see if it sticks.
Yeah, okay.
The customers like it, and we love it.
Yeah.
But the world-famous antipasta salad kind of started in the early 80s.
Wow, okay.
And the salad dressing recipe kind of morphed into a recipe that I got from this Greek gentleman. He had a restaurant called Mario's Pizza here in Lake Havasu when I was growing up in high school, way back then. I used to hang out there with the family a lot. My parents were really good friends with them, and it caught fire one night at the restaurant.
Jeez.
And he says, Scott, I'm not going to rebuild it. We're going to move. And I know you love this dressing, so I'm going to give you the recipe.
Yeah.
And so he gave me the recipe to the dressing, and I kind of morphed into a little bit different style of it. I took it from Greek to more of an Italian roots. Mm-hmm. And it's been pretty much the staple of our salads for many, many, many years. And
I think that's something that surprises people, to know that restaurants like yours make your own dressing. It's something that's not typical.
We make our dough fresh every day, salad dressing. So we try to do as much as possible. Yeah. Just like our beer from scratch,
Right. Yep.
The old-fashioned way.
Yeah. Well, when things were done right, as I would say. What advice? Now, that's something I actually was really surprised about. So one of the questions we have that we've looked up was, what advice would you give somebody to open a restaurant and or brewery? And one thing that I learned is that you encourage people to jump into entrepreneurialism, and your old manager here opened up a diner. Yep,
he's doing good with it also.
Yeah, so that's something that, again, very not typical, because you don't really see him as this competition. You see that the more that we can offer people in the community, the better the community is, and that we can all thrive together.
Yeah, and if he has the entrepreneurial spirit, is what really sets restaurants apart now. You got to have that drive and the willingness to learn and take failure. Yeah. The restaurant business is unforgiving.
Right. Yeah.
And with reviews and stuff today, people are relentless on that, which a lot of times is a lot of biased opinions, but I get it,
Right.
Hey, everyone has an opinion, which is awesome, and that's what makes our country awesome.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, Travis, he started up the Rotary Kitchen, and I think everybody should at least try it out a couple times. The breakfasts are good, the lunches are good, and he's doing a good job over there.
Yeah.
But as far as entrepreneurial, I think anybody that wants to get into the business, make sure you have the heart to do it. Yeah. Because it's a ton of hours.
It's not immediately rewarding in the sense of you're making money, you're getting lots of time to do things on, you don't have to spend a lot of time on it. It's not one of those types of things. This is something
it's time, and there's plenty of heartbreaks in it also.
Right.
But if you can get through all of that, then you put something together that's yours, and you can be successful doing it.
So over the last 30 years, what do you think was the biggest challenge you encountered that you didn't predict, and then what did you do to overcome it?
The biggest challenge in 30 years was when COVID hit and they said you got to shut your restaurant down.
Yeah.
And then they said, you could do takeout. Well, most of our restaurants were, the big store on Swanson was 175 seats.
Right.
And we didn't do a lot of takeout there, so that one had took a toll on that one.
Yeah.
We did pretty good with Little Shark, of course, with delivery and takeout on that end, but it was a big challenge with people going out sick every day, and kind of a lot of people use that as an excuse, and it was really tough. And it's we're still feeling the pain from it with the way the economy has came out of it with inflation, and the costs are high, labor cost is higher, the supply chains are sometimes non-existent. We're trying to figure out, okay, why aren't we getting 10 items that we need for our menu this week? What's going on? Yeah. Well, it'll be here tomorrow or the next week, or and the whole world has we're still changing, and we're still reeling from it and getting it over. So out of 30 years, that was pretty much the most devastating challenge that we've had. Yeah. But we're here today, and we're making beer, and we love beer, and we're making pizza because we love pizza, and house dressing, and
and beautiful weather. It's January, middle of January, and it's 60 degrees and sunny out right now.
I know, it's awesome.
It's amazing. Yeah.
So just keep your head up, keep smiling, and tomorrow the sun's going to shine again, and so that's what we look forward to.
Yep, I like that. All right, last part is a big uniqueness of this brewery in Lake Havasu, which is that you are solar paneled and water efficient. So what started that process? Was it just one day you're just like, geez, we got a lot of sunshine, we should be taking advantage of this?
Absolutely. We have so much sunshine here in the desert, and we need to utilize some of it.
Yeah.
And why not?
Yeah.
It's free.
Right.
Free sun.
Get the panels up there, and you won an award a few years ago for America's top favorite microbrewery.
America's favorite solar brewery.
Yeah. Which is very cool. And awarded something from Havasu for your water efficiency, which everybody talks about water consumption, and you guys have an entire system that repurposes and uses the exact amount that you need to, and reuses water that can be reused.
Yes,
which is pretty amazing. Which is awesome.
So we try to do our part, and we're going to continually to keep doing things to earn our spot in the world.
Right.
A lot of people just take a lot of things for granted, and it's easy to take it for granted.
Right.
And we want to always strive to do our part.
Yeah.
So my kids and your kids have
something left.
Yes.
So,
and that's what we have to look for, not for us, but we have to look for future generations. And
no, absolutely. Any future cool, exciting things that you want to share that is in the works?
We have so much top secret stuff in the works all the time.
Yep.
Events and new beers. We're working on a new beer actually behind the scenes right now. We're going to take Full Moon to another level.
Full Moon to the moon.
Full Moon to the moon. Yes.
Okay.
And it's going to kind of go off the liquid haze recipe a little bit. So we're going to blend that in there. We're going to add a lot more orange peel. We're going to add a lot of lemon zest and a couple different hops to it.
Very cool.
And it's going to be one hopped over the moon.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, so
cool.
That's kind of some of the names that are popping around.
Yeah, very cool. And then we have some traditional ones that you've had in the past coming back. I saw there's a spring training.
Spring training is going to come back in the can. It's looking like 16-ounce can right now. Because you can't do 12-ounce curls anymore. You got to do 16-ounce curls now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's funny.
We're moving up.
And then there was one that I had taken a note of called Pilot Rock. I hadn't heard or seen that one yet. What is that?
Pilot Rock is a coming and going beer that we do. It's a pale ale.
Oh, okay.
And it's a
summer light type beer.
It's a little bit lighter, yes.
Gotcha.
About 5.6, I think, in the alcohol spectrum.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Nice balanced top flavor to it.
An easy day drinker.
We do have another beer that we're working on.
Ooh. Yeah.
It's a honey lager.
Honey lager.
Yep. And
we like honey, as the bees buzz around.
Yep.
Yeah. It's honey, and we have honey beekeepers in our area, so it's nice to be able to, when you can use their honey, use their honey.
Yep.
Very cool. So
I think that one's gonna be called the Buzz.
The Buzz. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yep. It's gonna be exciting. Yeah, we're excited to be partnering with Mudshark on a top secret project that's not so top secret right now. Called The Buzz.
We just unfolded it right now.
Yes, we did. Yep. And so it's the idea and the concept behind it was, the one thing that we have all in common is we like to enjoy each other's company. We like to sit around fires, sit beside pools or lakes, enjoy a beer, and have good conversation.
Out in the beautiful desert.
Yeah. And so as a news agency, we do a lot of stuff that can people take divisiveness and take sides. And we wanted a beer that was representative of the true nature of us as people, which is just communicating, having a good time, enjoying each other's company, and enjoying Mudshark beer.
Yes.
So, yeah. All right. Well, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
All
Episode
right.
2. So you're going to go down in the record books for being the second after us interviewing ourselves. So you're our first business guest.
Awesome.
So thank you for being part of it. And everybody check out Mudshark Brewing, either physically, come down here on Aviation Drive, 1095 Aviation Drive in Lake Havasu City, online, mudsharkbrewery.com, or you can find them all over social media. Just search #CatchTheShark.
And all over the state of Arizona in packaging.
Yes, you'll see it in anything from Safeway, Whole Foods, Walmart's, on tap at different bars and restaurants. There's I don't even remember how many, 700-800 different places you could pick it up.
And if it's not there, ask for it, and they could bring it in through Romer Beverage in Mojave County, all the way from Bullhead to Yuma's Romer Beverage, and Hensley Beverage in the rest of the state, and almost the rest of the state. Southern Distributing in Bisbee and Sierra Vista in that far south part of the state.
Yep. If you've got a bar and restaurant and you want it on tap, or you want it, just reach out to Mudshark directly or one of those distributors, and they can get you hooked up.
All right,
cool.
Steve. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks.
Welcome to the Business Buzz, now streaming on Dynamic Living Radio.